The Mariners just lost to the Tigers 6-2, where not only have they lost the series to the Tigers, they also lost their division lead to the Houston Astros. The game was actually close and competitive, with Cal Raleigh hitting a 2-run home run, bringing the game within 1, and he nearly hit another home run, but it was robbed by Parker Meadows. The Mariners would then give up 3 more runs and lose 6-2. Now let me get this out of the way. The offense was awful, where they struck out 11 times, especially with ridiculous swings. But I'm here to talk about the fact that it was Scott Servais who actually lost this game for the Mariners. Now why is that? I will explain after a word from our sponsor, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code RoofTopSports to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you. After Parker Meadows robbed the home run off of Cal Raleigh, the Mariners were still very much in this game, as they were trailing by just 1 run. Usually in a game like this, the best high-leverage pitcher would be in this situation, and this is where Andres Munoz or Jimmy Garcia could have been used. But instead, Mariners manager Scott Servais went to Jonathan Hernandez, who the Texas Rangers recently waived with an above 5 ERA. This decision would have made more sense if the Mariners were down by a much more significant deficit, but the game was that close, so it made no sense to not use pitchers like Andres Munoz or Jimmy Garcia. Instead of that, we saw Hernandez walk 2 batters in a row, and eventually the Tigers scored a run to make it 4-2. Then Scott Servais went to Trent Thornton, and the Mariners would give up 2 more runs, and they would lose 6-2. Scott Servais went on to explain his reasoning on why he didn't pitch Jimmy Garcia.
He was up early if we'd have tied it in the 8th. I think, we're in a stretch of games right now. Where we're at, how his season has gone. You want to keep him fresh, tied or up. He's in the game tonight. And those are the things, you're thinking about, earlier in the day, looking ahead, this series, the next series, kind of where we're at. You start chasing games at this time of the season, you'll look up and you're going to have leads and he's not going to be available. You can't pitch guys 3 in a row. You're not going to pitch him. Even the injuries he's had this year, you're going to be careful going 3 out of 4. So, if we'd have tied earlier, he would have been in the game.
Now that is just ridiculous. Because of a robbed home run, you basically admitted that you gave up and planned to play for tomorrow. For a situation like that, you want to put your team in the best position to win by using your high-leverage pitchers from the bullpen, not someone who was just waived by the Rangers with above 5 ERA. It's decisions like this that lead me to believe that Scott Servais should no longer be the manager of the Mariners, and I have felt that way since the end of the 2018 season, when he failed to take the team to the playoffs with Robinson Cano, Kyle Seager, and Nelson Cruz in their primes. And no, don't give me that Houston cheated excuse rhetoric. The decision that should have got him fired was after Game 1 of the American League Division Series against the Houston Astros, when he put in Robbie Ray versus Yordan Alvarez, because the excuse for that was the lefty-lefty matchup, without knowing that Yordan Alvarez is dominant against lefties. And arguably, his decision to replace Brian Wu for Taylor Saucedo to pitch against Yordan Alvarez against the Astros earlier, because lefty-lefty matchups, also caused Julio to get hurt because Alvarez's hit against the lefty forced Julio Rodriguez to make an insane attempt for a catch, which caused him to get injured, and he is still recovering. Had Brian Wu pitched, I doubt that Yordan Alvarez would have hit something like that. If the Mariners don't make the playoffs this season, hell, if the Mariners don't even reach the American League Championship Series, let alone the World Series, Scott Servais should no longer be the manager of the Seattle Mariners. 1 playoff appearance in 9 seasons would be more than unacceptable. But those are my thoughts, and I would be curious, what are your thoughts on Scott Servais? Should he still be the manager going forward, or should he be fired? Let me know in the comments, and Scott Servais fans are also welcome, and thanks for watching.